Once it was a Sunday morning in Maplewood, a small, tree-lined town where the streets still smelled of coffee and rain after a long night. Martha Green, a 6'3" woman with silver hair tied in a loose bun, sat on her porch holding a cup of coffee that had long gone cold. She stared at the horizon where the sun was trying to rise through the mist as if struggling to be seen. That was how Martha felt about her own life. Struggling to be seen. Struggling to start again. For years, she carried the same weight, guilt, regret, and memories she couldn't erase. 20 years ago, Martha had been a music teacher. Her life was full of children's laughter, songs, and morning sunshine. But one rainy evening, she had an argument with her only son, Ethan. He had wanted to move out, chase his dream of becoming a photographer. Martha had wanted him to stay, finish college, get a stable job. Words were exchanged, sharp ones, painful ones, and in anger, Ethan had left the house, slamming the door so hard the glass cracked. That night, an accident happened. A truck hit his car on the old highway. Ethan survived, but he never came back. He recovered physically, but their bond never did. For 20 years, they hadn't spoken. Every birthday, every Christmas, every photo frame reminded Martha not of love, but of the argument she wished she could take back. That morning, as Martha sat lost in thought, a knock echoed through her quiet home. She opened the door to find Lila, her next-door neighbor, a bright, 10-year-old girl with curls that bounced when she smiled. "Miss Martha," she chirped, holding a small, broken violin. "I dropped it at school. Mom said maybe you can fix it?" Martha hesitated. It had been years since she touched an instrument. But Lila's eyes reminded her of her old students, full of wonder and trust. "Come in, sweetheart," she finally said. "Let's see what we can do." As Martha adjusted the strings, her fingers trembled. The wood felt familiar, like shaking hands with an old friend. Lila watched silently, fascinated. After a while, she asked innocently, "Miss Martha, did you ever teach music?" Martha froze. She looked at the tiny girl and smiled weakly. "I used to, a long time ago." "Then why did you stop?" The question hit like a wave. Why did she stop? Because of pain, because of guilt, because every song reminded her of her son's laughter, the sound she lost. "I guess I just forgot how to play," Martha whispered. Lila frowned. "You can't forget something you love." Then she smiled, hugged the violin, and ran back home. Echoes of the past. That night, Martha couldn't sleep. Her mind replayed Lila's words. "You can't forget something you love." She got up, went to the attic, and opened an old wooden box she hadn't touched in years. Inside were Ethan's childhood drawings, stick figures of her playing piano while he laughed beside her. Underneath was a faded photograph. Ethan holding his camera, smiling into the sunlight. Her eyes filled with tears. She realized she had been punishing herself for 20 years, not because Ethan left, but because she couldn't forgive herself for letting pride win over love. The next morning, she sat at her desk, pulled out a pen, and began to write. "Dear Ethan, I don't know where life has taken you, but I think of you every single day. I was wrong. I was afraid. I thought I was protecting you, but I only pushed you away. If I could go back, I'd open the door instead of closing it. I'd listen instead of argue. I don't expect forgiveness, but I wanted you to know I'm sorry. I love you. Always did, always will. Mom." She sealed the letter, unsure if she'd ever send it. But for the first time in decades, her heart felt lighter. Unexpected call. 3 days later, Martha was baking when the phone rang. "Hello?" There was silence. Then a soft voice said, "Mom?" Martha froze. It was him. "Ethan?" she whispered. "I got your letter." She gripped the counter, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I didn't even know if it would reach you." "It did," he said, voice trembling. "I kept your address all these years. I just didn't know how to call." For a moment, neither spoke. Just quiet sobs between two hearts finding their way home. Then Ethan said something that broke her completely. "Mom, I forgave you a long time ago. I just didn't know if you'd ever forgive yourself." Martha covered her mouth, crying. After years of silence, her son's voice was like music again. A week later, Ethan came home. Older, taller, but still with that same kind smile. He carried his camera, the same dream she once told him to abandon. They sat on the porch, the same one where she used to drink cold coffee and regret. But this time, it tasted warm. Ethan looked at her. "Mom, you know what I've learned all these years." "What?" "The past isn't meant to be carried, it's meant to be learned from." She smiled through tears. "Then maybe I'm finally learning." The music returns. Weeks passed, and Martha started teaching again, this time in her living room. Lila and other neighborhood kids came for lessons. Her laughter returned. The same old piano keys that once gathered dust now sang again. Sometimes Ethan would sit in the corner, taking photos, capturing the moments she once thought were lost forever. And in one of his photographs, framed above the piano, there was Martha, smiling with her students, sunlight pouring through the window. Below it, Ethan had written in neat handwriting, "The moment you let go of the past is the moment you begin to live again. Don't let your past become your prison. Forgive yourself. Let go. Life is still waiting for you to show up."